Good evening to all the people here. Thank you so much for coming. And I remember exactly a year back, I was standing here, and that was the first time we were all physically getting together after the COVID. And it brought a lot of excitement to the people to meet people face to face and have discussions. So I hope you bring the same amount of energy now, because the year past has been completely different from what the COVID times brought us. So welcome, and join us for celebrating the awards and recognitions on the 57th OPPI Annual Day. As we observed the 1-minute silence to honor the memory of Mr. Ranjit Shani and Mr. Humayun, one of the thoughts which went through my mind was on Mr. Ranjit especially. Every time there's an email sent, there's a response from him, every time. And I've seen that there is a guiding message, or there is a supportive message, or a suggestion which used to come to him every time. And he was so involved with OPPI and OPPI matters. And one of the things which I discovered was he was a wonderful, intelligent, caring, and knowledgeable person. And in fact, when we inaugurated our new OPPI office, he was there physically, and he had just got out of his illness, and he came here physically, and probably one of his last formal engagements, I would say. So he has been a great support and mentor to OPPI, and he was just not that. I think one of the key things which comes to our mind when we think about Mr. Ranjit Shani is his patient centricity. He was very, very concerned about what happened to the patient and how the patients are serviced. So I'm very deeply honored and privileged to stand before you today to make a very special announcement that holds immense significance for our organization and the broader healthcare community. I'm happy to announce the induction of a new award category from next year in the memory of our late Mr. Ranjit Shani, a visionary leader in the pharma industry who was deeply loved and respected. And this prestigious award will be known as Ranjit Shani Memorial Award for Excellence in Patient Centricity. So this is going to be the award which we will institute in his memory. The Ranjit Shani Memorial Award for Excellence in Patient Centricity is established to honor Mr. Shani's profound commitment to championing the rights and well-being of patients. By acknowledging the exemplary efforts in advocating for patient rights, access to healthcare and improved outcomes, which we are still working with the government, because there are two levels of access: innovative product access and general access. We seek to perpetuate Mr. Shani's enduring legacy of compassionate leadership. This award, which we have instituted, will serve as a beacon for the industry, inspiring others to emulate Mr. Shani's exemplary contributions and catalyze positive change in their healthcare systems. So nominations for this prestigious award will be sought through a rigorous and transparent process with a distinguished panel of judges, carefully evaluating each nominee based on a set of established criteria. And the recipients of this award will be honored annually at the OPPI Annual Day, providing a platform to celebrate their achievements and reaffirm our commitment to advancing the patient-centric healthcare. So this is going to be an honor for Mr. Ranjit Shani, and I will miss him, because I know that each and every email sent to him was a lot of knowledge which came through his replies. The last 1 year since the last annual day has been a very action-oriented one, I must say. And in fact, sometimes my manager used to ask me, or my boss used to ask me, are you working for AbbVie or are you working for OPPI? There was a period between April and October when I had to spend a lot more than my normal time to OPPI to make things, and there were a lot of things happening at the same time. So I'm happy. I think I learned a lot in the process, and I think I've established a lot of industry friends as a result of that. And I'm so happy that Anil joined us in October, because after that it was a little bit of breathing easy for me, and whereby we could get OPPI on track with a lot of initiatives which we are doing. So just wanted to highlight some of the key things which we have been involved with and where we are working with the government on a day-to-day basis. Policies in the form of incentives for manufacturing in the form of PLI, but more so in the research-linked incentive scheme, where we have contributed a lot to the thinking on how we need to move from factory of the world or a pharmacy of the world to discovering out of India at some point in time, because at the end of the day, we are playing in only 5% of the value market of around 90 billion to 100 billion, whereas the total market size is almost 1.4 trillion. So it's time that India got onto that discovery process rather than being the pharmacy to the world. Rollout of the new Schedule M, which we are very happy because we say that manufacturing quality is so important for the patients. So the new Schedule M was rolled out to upgrade the quality of manufacturing. Release of the new UCPMP, which is now mandated and no longer voluntary. We welcome that. And of course, we also fought for the NMC regulations, which were rolled out in the interim to say that how it will not benefit the patient or the science behind it. Patent amendment rules, which hopefully will bring down the time taken to dispose pre-grant opposition, which has always been a thorn for innovators. Bringing more transparency to the regulatory mechanism and centralizing some of the controls around licensing. And the new GDP guidelines from the CDSCO. I remember it was during the COVID time that we had submitted our recommendations for Schedule M and also submitted a white paper on GDP because we said, okay, you manufacture with quality, but if it doesn't reach the patient with quality, then what is the point? So the good distribution practices, I'm glad that there is new guidelines now from the CDSCO. So we have been in the midst, OPPI has been in the midst of all these policy decisions, providing our recommendations and representations to each of these initiatives. And I really, really want to thank the EC members and the work groups within OPPI, which work on all these different subjects, and all the members who are OPPI members who have contributed immensely to ensure our contribution to these initiatives. As an organization, our aim for the future will be to strengthen the relationship with the government and fostering stronger collaborations. Earlier today, in the morning session from 11 to now, just before this meeting, we actually met as an EC to have a strategy session to see, okay, what do we want to really focus on for the short term, the medium term, and how do we want to position OPPI for the future? Because I think India, per se, we have a lot of challenges coming up now, okay, because we were just talking about the aged population in India. We have 7% of the Indian population now more than 65 years. So we have almost 100 million people who are aged. It's bigger than Germany now. So we need to find a way to meet the healthcare needs of that population, right? So those are all the challenges which are coming up. So we discussed a whole lot of things around reputation management, working with key stakeholders, how we can be a partner. And we have all agreed as an EC to work together to make OPPI stronger with the government and other key stakeholders and be a real value-add partner to the government. Hence, we will look forward to even higher engagements from everyone and every member company as we move into the next few years. So, there's only one rule in the world. I mean, the one rule in the world is when the economy grows, the business grows, and if business grows, the pharmaceutical sector grows. And we have seen through many decades of pharmaceutical growth, the market growth, it's exactly 1.5 times the GDP growth. So we are hoping that India will be the third biggest economy in the world with a GDP growth between 6 to 7% or more than that. And that's going to be good for us in terms of how our industry needs to progress for the future. So increasing healthcare access is going to be a very important story in terms of the missing middle of around 40% of the Indian population, which is not having access to healthcare in terms of reimbursement or financing for the healthcare. But anyway, that's as far as what we have done. It's been a very active last 1 year. And we hope that this tempo which has been built up from the government side, and I must say that we have a very active minister, and we also have a completely changed secretariat now. DOP secretary is different, the health secretary is different, but they're all assessed, they all know what needs to be done, and they're working very hard to meet our healthcare needs. So without much ado, let's dive straight into tonight's agenda. We have an exciting program lined up for you, kicking off with a fireside chat, followed by an inspiring keynote session, and then the moment you've all been waiting for, which is the 57th Annual OPPI Awards. Tonight, our esteemed member companies will vie for recognition across the various categories. So wish you all the best, and may the best nominations win. And so wish you all the best. Thank you so much, and have a great evening.